Okay, so today's going to be a little bit of a different one. I've actually already done the editing behind this, but I'm going to be narrating it while I watch back. And in the background, you'll probably hear my son, who's going a little bit crazy, playing next door with my wife. So let's get down to it. This week's video, we're looking at the idea behind a trend I've seen popping up quite frequently, particularly on Pinterest and in other places, which is a very simplified version of digital manipulation, which is paired quite nicely with some good quality landscape shots that are put together. So essentially what this is, and you can see some examples here, is you have a landscape image and over the top of it you can overlay, or you can draw out a section, use Colour Picker to take one of the colours from the background, which is maybe most prominent in that area, and then place that colour in a rectangle box and repeat the rectangle box up and up and up and up as you go. Okay, so then by the end of it you have about 5 to 6 colours which are represented in the landscape in these boxes in front. Now there's a couple of different ways you can do this. One of the first things I did was I tried to approach this in a different way, and I looked at, or I saw an example where someone had put together like a before and after, and they had just covered the whole of the landscape image up with like the majority colour from that section, which is okay, but I actually don't think it looks as good or powerful as the original example. So we're going to talk through that. So in this first example, I have the image loaded up and I'm using the selection tool to draw out a rectangular area. I'm moving it to roughly where I want it to go, and then I'm using the Colour Picker tool at the bottom to pick out a dominant colour from that area. Now it's quite important that when you're doing this, you pick the colour which is maybe most typical to that horizontal section of the image. Then as I move up, I just simply use the Colour Picker, select the dominant colour within that area, and then use the paint bucket tool to throw that in. So we can see this across with two different examples that I'm putting together, and between, to keep the rectangle the same size, all I'm doing is just making sure I have the rectangular selection tool selected, then clicking within the area and moving up. The only things to remember as you're doing this is make sure you are using the paint bucket tool on a separate layer so that you're not going over the top of the original image, and try to keep about an equal distance between it. I'm using Pixlr here, so it's a bit more difficult, but I'm sure on Photoshop if you enable the grid it'll be easier for you to do. Have a look, good luck trying this style, it's quite a simple way of putting it together, and I'll see you next time. Bye!